Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Mus'azah Suhana binti Khairuddin, and today I will be presenting a systematic review protocol on effects of tea Camellia sinensis intakes on modulation of gut microbiota in healthy population, a systematic review of randomized control trial. These are the contents that will be covered in this presentation: background, rationale, objectives, methods, references, and appendix. Introduction. Gut microbiota can be defined as microbial ecosystem or community within the human intestinal tract that comprises of bacteria, virus, archaea, and fungi. There are four major groups of bacteria phyla in the gut, namely Firmicutes, Bacteroidetes, Actinobacteria, and Proteobacteria. The main role of these gut microbiota in human is in the immune function and metabolic function. In the immune system, these microbiota maintain mature intestinal epithelium integrity from pathogenic colonization by competing for nutrient metabolism, pH modification, bacteriocin secretion, which is a type of antimicrobial peptide. Thus, this affects cell signaling pathway. As for metabolic function, microbiota are the key regulators of digestion that extract, synthesize, and absorb nutrients and also the metabolites such as bile acid, lipid, amino acid, vitamins, and short-chain fatty acid. These microbiota also function in the drug metabolism. Literature review will cover on diet as factor affecting gut microbiota. It is known that complex diet is associated with more diversified microbiome and better health. Depletion in this microbial biodiversity in people consuming Western diet that includes snacking, high calories, carbohydrates, sugar, and fat are often associated with increasing incidence of non-communicable disease compared to high polyphenol diet that includes tea. Tea is proven in vitro and mechanistic studies to modulate the ratio of gut microbiota. This is because polyphenols in tea are prebiotic metabolite that has two-way reciprocal relationship with microbiota by these two actions. The first one is gut microbiota biotransform polyphenols into their active metabolites through enzymatic activities that results in increased bioavailability. And these polyphenols in tea promote growth of beneficial bacteria population and exert antimicrobial effects on gram-negative bacteria. Rationale. Why this study need to be done? First, the role of tea in modulating gut microbiota in human is not well studied. Second, the effective dose, types, forms, and duration of tea intakes in modulating gut microbes has not been well established. And third, there are no previous systematic review on randomized control trial, and what this study will contribute to is new evidence on tea polyphenol stimulation or suppression of beneficial and pathogenic bacteria among humans, new evidence on effective types of tea, dose, tea forms, and duration of intake to produce modulation effects, and new evidence on modulation of gut based on geographical and ethnicity factors. These are the research questions. The first one is, does supplementation of tea modulate the gut microbiota among healthy population? And the second question is, what are the relationship between types of tea, whether it is black tea, oolong tea, or green tea, and dosage of tea, forms of tea being administered, whether in the liquid form or powder form, duration of tea intakes, geographic origins of participants, and ethnicity of participants, and the modulation of gut microbiota. These are the objectives of this review paper, which is to determine the effects of tea intakes on modulation of gut microbiota, to determine what is the types, forms, dose, and duration of tea intakes to have such an effect, to determine the relationship between geographic origins and ethnicity of participants on modulation of gut microbiota. And these objectives has been formulated based on PCOS component. Eligibility criteria. These are the inclusion and exclusion criteria. This review paper will include publication from 2010 to 2020 in English language in primary research studies and exclude any literature review, government reports, or editorial. This review will include randomized control trial and exclude any in vitro or animal studies or cohort studies. For participants, this review will look on healthy participants, non-smokers, non-alcoholic participants that are free from medications and not taking any supplements or vitamins and has low polyphenol diet. We will also include participants that mention belongs to any ethnicity or geographical location. For participant exclusion, we will exclude participants with presence of medical illness such as Crohn's disease or any bowel inflammatory disorder, participants who are obese, pregnant, lactating women, and participants under antibiotic and anti-hemotic medications. For gender, this review will cover both male and female from age 18 to 65 years for adults. For intervention, we will seek to see participants that has been given T supplementation for case and placebo or no treatment control. An outcome of interest, we wish to see the gut microbiota composition. Information sources will be obtained from these three databases, which is Scopus, Medline, and PubMed. And also the reference list from the articles will be screened to seek for any additional eligible studies, and thus this will produce English randomized control trial that we want to review that has been retrieved from 8 May 2020 to 31st of October 2020. These are the search strategies using the keywords that has been obtained from mesh terms using the Boolean operators and or. Study selection will begin with database search using keywords mentioned before, and then we will record the identified studies and then record the duplicates removed, and then we will screen the title and abstract of the articles, and then the full text articles will be assessed for eligibility, and the final step is studies inclusion in qualitative synthesis. Data collection process will begin with forming data collection form, and then this form will be pilot test on the sample studies and modify the form if needed, and agreement from 2 reviewers will be obtained to remove any unnecessary articles, and 3rd reviewer opinion will be used if needed. This is data items that will be seek in this review. Characteristic of trial participants from age 18 to 65 years for adults in healthy stage that mention belong to any ethnic or geographic location. Types of intervention is oral T supplementation versus placebo or no treatment control. T types, forms, dose, and duration of intakes, and types of outcome measure is composition of gut microbiota in randomized control trial. These are the assessment of quality based on the JADAT score. This JADAT scale will produce total marks of 5, which indicate the highest quality and lowest risk of bias. And these are the reference used. These are the search strategy using the keywords mentioned before. This is just an initial search finding using the PubMed just to see how capable or credible these terms in capturing the studies. And this is what I get. And these are the Gantt chart for 11 months. And these are the milestone for 11 months as well. Thank you.